like how far we're into this. This is nuts. We're an hour and 42 into this. 1/3 of the way there. That's crazy. Okay. Then we got to go into the other tutorials that are more advanced into like specific parts, or maybe I don't know if he's got an advanced mega tutorial, or see if we can figure out some quote-unquote advanced stuff. Another important thing as well, because I just changed it to make it official, cozy time. And if you actually, especially for my sweaties, or for anyone, because it's a follower emote. Oh yeah, for my sweaties. And for me, when I'm in cozy mode, we activate cozy mode. So it's really official. So right now we're going to get into cozy mode and learn this stuff. And as you can see, when cozy mode is activated, me and Catch will be more cozy when streaming. So probably, you know, like less face cam and stuff like that. Learning some stuff, so I'm ready to dive in. Let's resume, shall we?
How to light a scene in Unreal Engine. I'm going to press Alt and 4 as a shortcut to go back into our default view mode.
What? Bro, you sound like you said Alt F4, right? Am I just tripping on that? Get in, I'm about to get, like, trolled.
Now, the first light I'm going to add in is the main light, which is the sun. So let's add in a directional light. And I'm going to rotate it so that the sun is coming through the...
Actually, hold up. Okay, so I want to see this because I didn't even check out the geometry. Okay, well. Okay. I would like more folders at my disposal, please. That's no worries. So,
the window. And already, especially right here, we can see global illumination and lumen at work. So I want to find a nice angle.
So then, let me create this. So, wait, why did I do this? Lights. Directional? Yeah, directional. Oh, I feel like the directional wouldn't be at the top, but it's in alphabetical. But also, the camera's super slow. Why is the camera super slow? Oh, there we go. Oh, that's right. Okay. Wait, where's the sun? I'm so bad with directional lights. I don't know why. Okay. Oh, so yeah, really when you go in here, it really makes this look sick. I like that. Okay. And then W. Actually, it would be... at a different angle as well, but... There we go. That's a good bounce. Right in the middle.
I think right there is
because it's reflecting the white light, which is creating a more of a...
There is no sky. It kind of looks scary.
Diffused light in here, because it's actually... which is the sickest thing, because this is diffused lighting. So if you would shine a light, like... You know those photo boxes for lights and stuff? It's like black and around, but it's like reflective on the inside. Same thing. They reflect the lights, and it's better than just having the direct light. Even not just the one that we're using, but any type of light.
And the sky and atmosphere, so drag it.
Oh, I'm going sky and atmosphere? This is visual... Okay, so it's in visual effects, sky atmosphere. Interesting.
That in, but half of our world, the bottom half, is still a black void. We can hide that black void with fog. So come back up to add, visual effects.
Really?
And below sky and atmosphere, we have exponential height fog. Simply drag that in. And now if we look outside the window, all we see is sky, which is what I want. But there is...
Oh, I like that. Okay, cool. So can you still change that to something different?
Is if we hide and unhide the exponential height fog, we can see that there is a little bit of fog inside of our room. And we don't want that. So within the exponential height fog, one of the settings we're going to change is right here, start distance.
Start distance, going down to all. Exponential height fog. Components. Okay, start distance.
I'm going to drag us all the way up to its max of 5,000. So essentially, start distance is saying, do not use fog until we're 5,000 centimeters away from our camera. So
okay.
We don't have any fog inside our room. There is one more light that I want to add to our room.
Okay,
and that
sick.
is the skylight. So let's come with lights.
I can see the fog a little bit more, though.
So we can already see that our room got a little bit of a bluish tint from our sky.
Okay, so we're going to get a skylight as well?
I can hide and unhide it right here. So effects world, turn it on.
Okay, so sky, lights, skylight, yes, please.
Off, and turn it back on. So we can see that it does make a little bit of a difference.
Interesting. Good to see right there. Save performance, because that's something I want to figure out. How do you do well, just, man, it's crazy. I know how you do settings in the game. You got to manually kind of like set up this stuff. Well, yeah, but there's also now mainstream kind of streamline, even more streamlined tools now. But like probably having this would be good in one of those settings, because that would save on performance.
To movable, since both of these lights are being used with lumen.
Okay. And then directional, movable.
And we aren't making any lights. And another thing I'm going to do is add in a post-process volume.
It's over here.
We come over here, and I don't know if it's noticeable in the YouTube video, but there is a little bit of noise. So we can get rid of that by adding in the post-process volume. Simply drag it in.
Oh yeah, that's right. And then volumes, post-processing volume. Wait, hold, control. Oh no, control H for more. I'm like, is that the bind for it? Okay.
And make sure you scroll down.
Oh, infinite distance, right? That's number one.
And infinite extent.
Which was that one? That's in. It's not open from last time, which is a little. I don't know why this would not be like open automatically. Mythic? I'm trying to see if I could find on myself here. Actually, no, I can do this. Extend? Yeah, there we go. Okay, gotta get used to that. Blender just recently added this too, and I'm only like kind of getting used to that tool. So helpful.
Bound is turned on, so we don't have to be in the post-process volume for it to take effect.
So what are we doing for the denoise?
All the way up to Lumen Global Illumination, and right here for final gather quality.
Okay, so. Okay.
Instead of 1, I'm going to set that to 10.
Finer. Wow, you can really. Okay, so I was right. It is actively denoising, and then you can increase it even more by forcing it, because you can only scroll up to 2. That's good to know. I'm gonna have to
and a lot of that.
like not just here, but like I'm gonna like anytime I see this, I'm gonna have to like test something and see like, oh, maybe it's just a little bit more.
That noise just disappeared.
But
also,
there's gonna be things that are not gonna work.
Soft shadows to the really small objects, since right now there is no soft shadow that's being given off from the phone, the clock, or the coffee mug. So the reason why is because I have to increase the lumen scene detail right here from 1 to.
Okay. This is in global illumination. I actually want to go in here. It's also good to know where it's at as well. Lens. Yeah, so global illumination. Lumen scene detail.
2, 4. So this was beforehand at 1.
Next is okay.
This is.
Okay, I want to see it for mine. Yeah, I see it. Okay, yeah, that stuff.
4.
Yeah.
So by default, to save on processing power, Lumen excludes a lot of small objects from its calculations. So you need to tell Unreal that you want them within the Lumen calculation by increasing it from 1 to 4, or even higher if you do have smaller objects. And one last edit. I'm going to make the.
I was just about to say, I'm taking some time to eat my soup here. That I was about to say, could you actually go for the lumen? You can. Okay. And also the finer gather. So yeah, both right here.
Is setting it for a manual exposure. So under exposure.
Exposure. Lens. I was about to say it's in lens because that's like a camera thing. And that's good. See, like me having that type of like background knowledge, if I didn't know that, like, even though it's kind of, I say simple, but it's only simple if you are in that field. If you're not in that field and you first time go to this, you're probably rather have to go through the search because you wouldn't be like, okay, where would that be? No, it's in lens because that's a camera thing. So it would be here.
Metering mode.
So try to use that as much as possible.
Bring up the exposure compensation to 13.25.
I'm gonna do mine by myself. because I'm not even gonna look at the. I don't. That's also another thing that is pretty crazy. Just like artists, I can hit certain keys, like of notes with their voice. It's like a similar thing to do with like deving. It's like certain numbers, certain things. It's also good to try for yourself, but it's also for like simulations. Same thing. Try for yourself, but for all that stuff, that is something that's going to be like if that simulation isn't already quote unquote perfect, like to whatever your standard is, realism or not, then you can change it. But if not, then of course use that because that's your kind of your best thing to mimic whatever you're trying to mimic.
It's pretty good. And also, this is an artistic choice. We increase it, we can see that we get more bloom in our world. So.
Oh. Wait, bloom. I kind of wanted to get rid of that. Because I'm like, there's like this type of... Yeah, that glint. I kind of don't like that. I do, but I don't. Whoa. Jeez, would you...
Maybe a value of 2. So this is...
Nah, I'm going to do mine 0.
With bloom. I do think it makes the scene look a little bit nicer. And that is the basics of lighting and environments in Unreal Engine 5.
I'm going for a different type of look. That's okay. I feel like this is a little bit more like a Source 2.
With Control and L.
Because, or Source, like, engine, because Source engine, like, yellow stuff is used for certain properties. What is it?
Control and L as a shortcut.
Control and L. There we go. My bad, my bad. So Control and L. These binds are huge. Yeah, there it is. Whoa. Oh yeah, that's right. Does that. Okay. So Control L. Oh. Wait, how do I do it again? Control L. Control L? Oh yeah, gotta hold Control. Oh, but that is actually pretty sick. I don't think I would go like that, but... Phone rings. Guy walks in. This music's actually pretty good with this setting, too. I like this. Guy walks in. Sits down. Picks up the phone. So do you have what I need? Good. Oh, yeah, I love this.
Shortcut to rotate our sun. Watch our
that is actually really
updated in real time based off of our sun's lighting, which is pretty insane.
It really is.
It is amazing. We do get some trade-offs in quality. Just because we are able to use real-time global illumination doesn't mean that it's the best case for certain scenarios. Specifically a scenario like this, where there isn't going to be any moving parts since it's just an architectural visualization scene. We might as well bake our lighting because number one, baked lighting is always more performance friendly than using Lumen because Lumen does do a lot of GPU calculations behind the scenes, while baked lighting is just overlaying a texture. And number two, if you properly bake your lights into a good light map, then the quality will be better than Lumen. So let's convert our Lumen environment into a baked lighting environment.
That is true. But it's like, bro, would you rather do that or use a Lumen? Let's go. Lumen's like the frat boy in Unreal right now, man. Like, would you rather be the old man and do that, or would you be the frat boy? Because it's like, you just turn on Lumen. And then you can adjust it, show the client, rather than bake it, because you got to rebake it. So this is going to be... Yeah, so I'll just copy it.
Control and D to duplicate it.
Or Control D.
Let's call this one ArcViz Room Baked. And double click to go inside of it. Make sure we save selected.
Baked.
All right, great. So first thing I'm going to do...
Save select.
Select all my lights.
Okay, so we're inside of it right now.
Directional light to static.
Oh. Okay. Directional. Wait.
And
Static?
set my skylight also to static.
Oh, okay. We're bringing it back to... Okay, so that's like
now
that?
I'm going to go into my post-process volume and disable lumen for reflections and glow.
Lumen? Oh, wait, I'm not spelling it right. Oh, no, it's in... global lumen. Okay. So it's just right here. Oh. Oh, wait, I'm not even doing it. I just realized. So what the heck was I seeing then the whole time? Maybe it bugged out because I duplicated it? No. I had lumen. Okay, it just bugged, I think. Unless I'm tripping. I don't know.
Also set this to none. So we
get... Reflections? Oh. So there's reflections lumen. So if we just type in... Actually, I don't think it would do it, right? Unless it does. Oh, no, it does. So reflections lumen. Global illumination, it doesn't show the top thing on it, though. Unfortunately. So you would have to... go here. Oh. Do that. Global illumination, boom. You know, change you through there and all that stuff.
see immediately we are...
Maybe it's automatically lumen. Yeah, what is that?
Because I should come up to build and build all levels.
Okay. Building levels, baby. Building those levels. And you see his lights and stuff, so not game mode. Yeah, so... I guess they're like, yo, lumen's so hot, you'd kind of get lumen already or something like that. Or just basic light. Oh, it's going to lag a little bit because it's baking the light. I see. Okay, I'm good now. So, what do we got?
To start ray tracing
clear, right?
in the background.
Or boom.
All right, great. So here we have our baked lighting.
Interesting.
This is really bad since we need to increase the quality of our light bake by going into the world settings. And if I scroll up, we can see that under light mask, we have light mask settings.
Light mass. Mass of the light.
And in the drop down, we have a bunch of settings that will change the quality of our light baking. So first thing, I want to increase the number of bounces, which will just illuminate our scene a little bit more. So the number of indirect lighting bounces is right now set to 3. Let's set that to 10. And also for sky lighting bounces, set this from 1 to 10. Number 2, for static lighting level
because we're not going to see a change.
If we bring this below 1, for example 0.5, then we're going to get a lot more quality out of our bakes. So I'm going to set this, instead of 0.5, let's set this to 0.1. And to compensate for the static lighting level scale, you want to increase the indirect lighting quality to 10. So specifically, I want to increase the indirect lighting quality to 10 because the static lighting level scale right now is set to 0.1. And generally, you want your static lighting level scale times your indirect lighting quality to equal 1. So for example, if instead of static lighting level scale being 0.1, I change it to 0.5, then the indirect lighting quality should be set to 2, since 0.5 times 2 equals 1. But I'm going to leave it at 0.1 since that does give us a better value at the cost of waiting a little bit more for the ray trace calculations to happen. And now that I like my settings, come to build and click on build all levels.
Okay. Let this build a hot moment. Okay. I'm still... because I got stuff... What the... Oh.
So this build will take longer than beforehand because we increase the quality of our light bakes. So now this is our scene, and we didn't really notice that much of...
Is it just baking? Oh no, it's baking. I see, okay.
The difference, since I also want to come up to build...
It loads a lot of settings too, which is interesting. Because when I go in here... Yeah, I can feel it loading. So is that no 1?
And for exposure compensation, I'm going to leave it at, let's go 12.7.
Okay. Actually, no, I don't. No, I like it. Sorry,
Now,
no.
let's build all levels.
I like that. That took a little longer. Oh yeah, this is taking a lot longer. Okay. Which is not a bad thing. It's just gonna be a little laggy right now. Now, how much? Cause man, especially baking this stuff takes this long.
Keep in mind that if you are following along exactly with this tutorial, you do not have to press build whenever I press build, since I'm building my lights a lot more frequently than I would to just demonstrate what some of these settings do. So if you want to save time and not have to wait for each build, then I would wait for the very end and copy those settings. We can see that the quality is still not the best. Because if you remember, light maps are being baked into a texture. And if that texture has low resolution, then we're going to get low resolution shadows and lighting. So we need to raise the resolution on each of our static meshes. And to see the resolution of our static mesh visually, you can come up to Lit, down to Optimization View Modes, and select Light Map Density with the shortcuts Alt and 0. So right now...
Whoa. Okay.
Our entire room is pretty much blue. This is not what we want. We want our scene to be in the greenish to reddish range. So to increase the light map resolution of a static mesh, you want to select the object, and within the details panel, scroll down until you see lighting and overridden light map resolution.
Lighting. Wow.
It's at 64. Turn that on and increase that to, let's try 128 or 256. And okay, that looks a little bit better, but since this is the floor and it will have some of the shadow.
Wait, what did it select? This? Oh. Oh, I see.
Increase that to 512. So make the floor pretty dense. I think the walls around it should also be, let's go 512. And the roof.
I mean, shoot, why not? Okay, oh, there we go.
So for the baseboard, I'm going to select that.
I'm like, why is it not working? It's because it got it selected.
Let's try 256. The door needs to increase it from...
Okay. And you got to do this with each object. I mean, that's just a thing that you would have to do in certain cases, which is not bad, but it's like, if you could avoid this, that's nice. It's always nice to avoid that. And then boom. And then do that. Oh, no, I need to do this. Okay.
64 to 128. The chair is a pretty big deal since it's our focal element. So let's go 256 right there. And for the wall, is that 256? I'm gonna
this is mainly the element here. Maybe some of the
128. Actually, let's make this 512. The wall right here.
There we go.
512 and the floor. Actually, I'm going to increase this to 124. So I think that's
1,024.
Now, if we bake our lights, let's see what this gives us. So at this point, it is going to take a little while for...
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
For our lights to bake.
And I did like ×2.
Since there's a lot more detail it needs to calculate. And probably by now you understand why Lumen is a pretty big deal. Since it gets rid of this repetitive process of having to wait for our lighting to bake. And then if we don't like the bake, we have to change something and change some settings and then bake our lighting again. And then if we don't like that, we have to go back. And it's an entire process, while Lumen just works immediately. But in this case, it is worth it since the quality is going to be better than Lumen.
Also, I realized this wasn't at two times this whole time, but that's okay.
Okay, now that we're done baking, let's see what our world looks like. And okay, that's a lot better. But the shadows, especially in between objects, are a little bit too intense. Since by default, Unreal is calculating ambient occlusion. I want to disable ambient occlusion.
Yeah, let me see that.
Since I'm just relying on our baked light map to simulate all of our shadows and lighting.
Dog,
so
just...
post-process volume. Let's go
find man, I love it.
Occlusion is, which is right here under rendering features.
Rendering features. Rendering features. We gotta bump her up here so we can see our rendering features. Shall I do this? There we go. Rendering features.
Intensity.
Okay. Oh, yo, we just went right to it.
To 0 to turn it all off. And
Interesting.
increase our exposure compensation to 13.
This is important to see. Like, I need to see like what would be the type of process, and I'm gonna have to mess with this stuff anyways.
We don't have any reflections whatsoever.
Yeah, because we turned them
The world
off.
looks pretty bad since we don't have those reflections. And the reason why is because Lumen calculates reflections automatically when we
Jesus Christ, Lumen's crazy. Man, really, everybody had to deal with that crap before? Jesus Christ.
So
Feels bad.
Sphere reflection capture, come up to the add button, down.
We're mainly kind of just jumping in right in the goodie pool right here. Like, hey, you guys had to deal with that? Feels bad.
To visual effects, and drag in a sphere reflection capture.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that crap. Oh my God. That's right. Oh, that's right. I don't like these things. Well, I probably would like them, but it's just the CS:GO engine kind of learning that stuff. They do it a way more crude way, so it's like you can see.
And drag in a.
Okay, so visual effects, drag in sphere reflection, but also or Jesus Christ, thing looks crazy. Okay, no. Not you. Wait, where's sphere reflection? I still want to do this because I think, well, actually, no, Lumen is so good, right? Like, it's not like no, it's so good. You're going to use Lumen in engine as well, right? Ken.
We can see that these objects, instead of
I'm not going to follow this. I'm just going to watch this now.
They're grabbing from the smaller one, which is overriding the larger one. Since the reflection capture both is smaller, Unreal knows to pick this sphere reflection capture for all the objects within its radius of 500 centimeters.
Yeah.
So this is essentially how you bake lighting in Unreal Engine. Now I know that the setup took a lot longer than using Lumen. Also, we have to wait a while for each light baking to happen and for all the light maps to be created and the ray tracing to happen. But
make sure one's safe.
And in my opinion, the quality, especially right here, if I select a chair and hide it, you can see how detailed those soft shadows are. And if I unhide it, take a good look at this baked lighting scene, jump it back into our ArcViz room, which is using Lumen. Obviously, the baked lighting looks a lot better. So hopefully you understand the difference between baked lighting and Lumen, their pros and cons, and why you would use baked lighting over Lumen, even though Lumen is real time. That is the very basics of lighting in Unreal Engine. Of course, you can get even more complicated because the lighting is an entire art form by itself. But hopefully you have a good foundation to learn more. Now we're going to go over landscape. So landscapes in Unreal are pretty important because odds are you will always be seeing a landscape or your character is on top of a landscape. So in this section, we're going to go over how we can create a landscape, sculpt it, and finally at the end, go over how to add foliage. To demonstrate how to make landscapes, let's create an entirely new map. So press Control Space, and let's go
to level 1. Now I'm gonna make this level 2.
Into my stuff. And right here, let's create a brand new folder called Maps, which will hold all of our maps.
New folder. Oh, let's go into 2.
So I'm gonna select both of my map and my build data and drag it into Maps. Let go and move here.
Map and my build data.
So let's jump into there and.
Oh, okay. So this would be starter content? Wait, what? My stuff. Oh yeah, that's wait.
And right click, create a brand new level. So by right clicking and creating.
No, that was the last stuff. So technically, you're not doing the same thing. Okay. I see. So he wants us to do this. Okay. I get it. So maps, then yeah. Okay, no, that's good. Oh wow, remember these scenes? Move here.
Create a level. Instead of coming up to File and New, we don't get access to the templates, which is fine. I do want to create a brand new level completely from scratch. So let's call this
interesting
example. And
okay. Oh, landscape example.
Jump in. So let's save everything. The reason why we're starting from a blank level is because I want to show how to light an outdoor environment from scratch. Okay, to begin, let's create a landscape. To create a landscape, you need to go into landscape editing mode. To do so, come up to select mode and then select landscape.
Ooh, okay.
Finally, we're going to go over what some of these modes do. So you can press landscape, or the shortcut is Shift and 2. So throughout this tutorial, so far we've been in select with the shortcut Shift and 1. Now we're going to go into Shift and 2 to edit our landscape. We don't have
okay, Shift. Does he mean Alt? Oh, no, I see it.
Have a landscape. So Unreal's gonna ask us if we want to create a landscape. We see that we get a bunch of different settings that we can pick from. Generally, I don't play with these settings, I just leave it as default. But if you are gonna play with those settings, I recommend you use the templates provided to you from the Unreal documentation. Type in Unreal Docs, and then type in Landscape Technical Guide. So if you are gonna change any of these settings, I recommend you use the presets. For now, I'm gonna use the default settings and press create.
Because it's like 4K textures, so it's not. I see, because it's like you're doing a whole texture that's like a 9K texture, or like a whole landscape. Interesting. Because how GTA does it, they actually split the map, so it would be more optimized when you split it.
Okay, great. Now we have a landscape, but before we start editing our landscape, it's best to do lighter scenes so we know exactly what is happening. First off, let's add in a directional light. So add light to directional light.
Okay, so shift 1 back in. Then we're going to directional light.
Simply drag that in. We can leave all the settings that...
Oh, no, wait. He just built it. Oh. Wait, did he? Oh. Wait, did he build it? Hold up. Let me just double check.
Default happening. First off, let's add in a direction. Okay, great. Now we have a landscape, but before we start, we are going to change any of these settings. I recommend.
Oh, he did. He did. Okay.
Now I'm going to use the default settings and press create. Okay, great.
I see. There we go. Do something like that. That kind of works.
Notice that the sky updates in real time. So as I lower my sun, the sky changes colors to represent a morning time or a dusk time.
Yeah, which is nuts.
Raise it up to get a more bluish sky, which is pretty amazing that Unreal automatically updates your sky depending on your sun's angle.
Yes.
Now there are two issues. We still have a black void in the lower half of our world, and zooming in on the shadow, it's pretty dark. We're getting a little bit of global illumination and bounce lighting from our sun, but we need lighting from our sky as a whole. So
yeah, so we need
to add lights and drag in a skylight. Now it's recommended for skylights that under real-time capture, make sure it's turned on if you are going to use this
real-time capture
skylight with the sky and atmosphere. And also, while we're at it, set it to movable since we're only using lumen lighting.
Yes.
Also, let's go fix our black void by adding in some fog to cover that. So come into visual effects and exponential height fog, simply drag it out like this. And we can control where the exponential height fog starts by moving the widget. So if we move it up, we get more fog.
Oh.
And if I move it down, we get less fog. So hopefully you can see what's happening.
I see.
For now,
okay.
In the middle right here. And with...
Yes, so I'll put it over here then. Oh, actually, it's kind of far. It's actually kind of far away. There we go.
That's a directional light, sky and atmosphere, skylight, and fog.
Wait. Oh, yeah, fog, and then fog density. Kind of hard to see it, but it's definitely there.
Is pretty much how you light 90% of open world scenes in Unreal Engine 5. It is literally that easy, and what's amazing is that all these objects interact with each other successfully. So I can move my sun around, lower it, create a really dark area, lower it to the point where it's night, and then raise it. Slowly the sun comes above the fog and starts to illuminate our world. So it's completely real-time time.
That's really cool. I feel like there's a weird thing happening to that, though. I feel like the box is capturing more of the daytime light. I feel like that's not the correct lighting, though. I feel like that's so blown out. Maybe it's just the texture? Fine, no, not that stuff. I thought I'd be able to get like something easy here. Let's see. Oh. No, it's okay. I guess it was just the since it was getting so blown out from the angle.
Now that we set
and
the
from
lighting,
like the other light, which is a true thing that happens because it's
our landscape.
reflecting so much
go over the
back.
landscape editing mode.
Like
and
snow.
To do so, I need to come up to my mode selector and select the landscape from select, or I can press Shift and 2 as the shortcut. So by default, it's going to give us this brush right here. And as you could probably guess, hold down the left mouse button, I'm able to sculpt and raise the terrain.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember doing this stuff.
If I hold down Shift and left mouse button, then I lower the terrain. And by default, we are using the basic sculpt brush. I can even increase the tool strength. So right now it's at 0.3. Of course, if I bring it up to 1, then our sculpts will be a lot more intense.
Is there like
a Shift? I can really lower the landscape's terrain. If I want to, I can control the fall off of this brush.
Yes.
With the brush fall off. So bring it to
is there
0.
A bind for that,
though? There is no fall off. So I get some insanely harsh sculpts happening. or I can bring it all the way up to 1, which makes the fall off non-existent, giving us the smoothest brush as possible for really faint changes to our landscape. Now, a shortcut to increasing the brush size is to use the right bracket key on my keyboard. So right bracket key will increase my brush size, and left bracket key will decrease.
That's not bad.
Very
Actually, that's funny because that's from the RTS generate Men of War Assault Squad 2. That's the same thing from that as well with the terrain.
Photoshop shortcuts. So that's the basics of the sculpt brush. As
Interesting.
a reminder, if you ever want to get back,
I guess that all comes from Photoshop.
Unreal Engine, go to that property and select the arrow right next to it to reset it back to its default value. Now let's go over the smoothing brush.
Interesting.
And as you can guess, if you have some really harsh landscapes and you want it to be smoother, like right here, it was really harsh since our fall off was non-existent. Using the smooth brush, I can smooth away.
I know all this stuff, but
those bumps in the landscape.
I want to relearn it.
So pretty great. And the next brush after that is the flatten brush. So flatten brush is great for terracing, or maybe you're creating a game, for example, and let's say right here you need a flat area for your gameplay. Well, to get a flat area, of course, we need to use the flatten brush, which will just flatten our landscape. It's also great.
Oh, yeah, I need that here.
Terraces. So if I start my
because I didn't want this here, but that kind of breaks it
though.
though.
Terrace and a lower one, and right below that, another one. So we're very quickly able to create some complicated landscapes with just these 3 brushes. And these 3 brushes are the main brushes. Generally,
do something like
really
that.
touch any of the other brushes, except for very specific circumstances, which we aren't going to be going over in this video. Now, that's how you sculpt the landscape.
That out.
But how do I paint a landscape? Since right now we're using Unreal's default material, of course, landscapes in real life are not made out of squares. Instead, they're made up of grass, dirt, sand, rocks,
like Minecraft,
and pretty much anything you would expect outside. Now, I'm going to briefly go over how to create a very basic landscape material. Written material under my stuff.
Oh, okay. So, ooh. I'm actually kind of liking this scene, though. Kind of reminds me of a VR chat world. Because that's also, I learned in Unity. Gonna build a house here. It's gonna be a nice little area. Because the one map I built was like an island surrounded by water. Maybe I could have something like an island, or like, maybe an island. Some mountains, some water in front. Have a little house here. That'd be pretty sick. Ooh. That would be really sick. Oh, this is... Okay, so the lighting stuff, I had a feeling we would blow through that. There was, not really big issues for me. Especially with the whole lumen thing. They're going to master that. There's no way that lumen's not going to get better and better to be almost identical to baking. I'm fine with those trade-offs. Unless I'm going for a super specific realism or specific type of baking look that baking can only achieve. Like if it's like a super cartoony thing, but somehow baking, even with the cartoony type of like line edges that actually move, I think Unreal can actually do that but I know in Blender does that. Either way, doing all that, I don't know if that would even look better. Like, would Lumen actually be better for those cases so it would actually look more cartoony? If you want to basically have a very close Blender type of render, or a Octane, name your engine of modeling engine of choice. If you want to get to that realism, then you have to bake.